What's up? Welcome back to episode 27. And today we're going to be talking about whether you should niche down within your agency or stay broad. And this is probably something that almost everybody experiences at some point in their agency journey, whether you're just starting and you're trying to figure out what niches to tackle, or whether you've kind of scaled up and you're trying to determine whether you should switch niches, switch services, or just like how you want to keep growing the business, which is your agency or service or AI, automation, whatever you want to call it, anything that involves selling services to other businesses. So, why don't you kick it off, Braden? What in your experience so far, from what you've seen, what is the best strategy when it comes to picking niches, or staying broad in general?
Yeah, as far as like whether to niche down or to stay broad, I think in almost every scenario, to start out, it's best to niche down. You're gonna get the benefits of being able to get really specific on your industry's problem, and like sub industry as well. So you could say, instead of working with just everyone, you could work with only realtors. Then you could take that a step further and only work with, the selling side realtors, listing realtors. And then you can even take that a step further. You could do people who specialize in commercial selling that are realtors. And you can kind of keep going down. But the more down you get, the further and kind of more personalized your messaging can be when you outreach to them on sales calls. And then also the more refined your service can be for that specific person.
Let's say I'm just starting out though, and like maybe I have like I'm just trying things. I've got 3 different clients now. They're different services, they're different niches, and every time, every week that goes by, every month that goes by, I come across a new niche or a new potential service offering, and I find another guy that's doing 120,000 a month in remodeling. And then I spend another person that's making 60K a month selling leads to interior designers. I think everybody goes through this process of discovering that there's a never-ending amount of niches. And as a result, they go, well, I could make way more money if I was broad.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that. I think if you go broad to everyone, it's hard to templatize the surface, right?
Sure.
And also a marketing approach. So you're pretty much building, like, let's say you're in 3 different niches, you're building 3 different businesses almost. Which is a lot harder than building one. So I would definitely try to niche down to one specific industry. And if you're having trouble with that, I think really anything can work. Some things you want to look at how many people are actually in the niche that you're looking to jump into. How easy are they to actually get in contact with? All right. Are there gatekeepers, or are they the point of contact? How big is their sales price? Right. Are you selling, $20 trinkets or $20,000 packages, and then so on and so forth? You got to decide which niche would be best.
What if I'm scared of niching down though? Like, what if I'm just genuinely worried that I picked the wrong niche? There's more opportunity out there, or a better opportunity.
Yeah. There's a lot of possibilities that there could be a better opportunity out there. I think no matter what you do, as long as whatever you choose, you go all in on, you might have to pivot over time. You might have to make a switch over time. But I think you can make pretty much anything work, as long as you put enough effort and focus into it.
What if there's nobody in my niche? What if I've gone too narrow though?
You'll find out after taking action. And then once you find out, based off, the feedback you get from the market, et cetera, you might have to make iterations from there. And
why would I even bother though? Like when there's all of these different businesses that I can work with, why not just work with them all?
Why not work with
What's
who?
the downside? Why not just work with them all? Yeah, I can work with more people. I can make more money, right? If I want to get to $20,000 a month, or $100,000 a month, or $1 million a month with my agency, I should just work with everybody, right? I should offer every service in the world.
Yeah, you can do that, but it's kind of like, let's say there's one person who wants to lose weight, and another person who wants to gain weight, and another person who wants to gain muscle, right? 3 different people. There might be a certain personal trainer for each one of those people, and then there's one guy who just does all those as one service.
Yep.
Who do you think is going to be better at specifically helping you lose weight? Well, probably the one trainer that's all that they do. Same kind of concept here, where you're going to be able to get much more focus on one specific niche and vertical as far as service and market.
Pretty much. So is it just a selling thing? You're telling me that people when I do end up speaking to the people that are qualified or like meet my ICP, fall within the specifics of my niche, I will close more of them.
Yes,
Why?
because you're going to be able you're going to be able to get a lot more specific on their problems, their pain points, and then the solutions for those.
Right. What about from a service delivery perspective?
So much easier to templatize. Kind of like the analogy before, you're building like 5 different businesses if you're in 5 different niches, right? The service delivery for a roofer to a real estate agent to an insurance rep, they're a lot different, right? So you're able to get very specific on one. You want to keep it simple in the beginning. I know we've covered this in other videos. We want to have one offer to one type of person with one service delivery, and ideally one channel to start out. And then you just scale that up as high as you can go. And once there might be a time where, let's say, I know we had someone in the group that has pretty much reached out to almost everyone in their niche multiple times. Allegedly, there's probably some other lead sources you can get, but in that scenario, then yes, maybe it might be wise to broaden out or to switch up your offer, so on and so forth.
Right. So, I'm gonna add like a maybe slightly more nuanced take. Maybe 2 years ago, I posted a video titled "Don't Niche Down," and the idea of that video stems from this concept that when lots of people are saying do one thing, often there's a lot of alpha in doing the opposite. Now it's become a popular concept online to niche down. But maybe I'm in like too small of a microcosm, too small of an echo chamber. But when I got really deep into like offer building and online business building, originally, lots of people gave the advice of niching down. It is correct advice. It is 100% something that you should do. There's loads of benefit to it. Psychologically, people are more likely to buy from you. Your service is going to be more specific. You're going to understand people's pain points better. You're going to create better solutions for them and build a better service that people are more likely to buy in general, but also more likely to see results from, which leads to referrals and it leads to customer retention. So it leads to like a good, healthy business. But there's one caveat, and the caveat is that you should experiment. Now, it is possible to get stuck in too small of a niche and only work with plumbers that are based in in Compton, Los Angeles, with the name starting with Z, or only called Zach. And maybe there's like 4 people in that niche, and at some point, like the market is not big enough for you anymore. So there should be an element of experimentation within your business, but you should keep the main thing until you're absolutely certain, if you're certain that there is something that is more scalable, that is a better opportunity for you to pursue, and just a better bet in general. And I think this is where people get caught up. They experiment forever. And they never pick one thing to keep working on and staying consistent with and scaling up. And that's where they miss out on lots of the opportunity, lots of the value. Because there's only so much you can learn from the 0 to 5K, 0 to 10K, 0 to 20K a month revenue range. And there's only so much you can learn from going from 0 to 100 or 20 to 100 or whatever that range is. When you're constantly experimenting, you never get the opportunity to leave these kind of like revenue ranges and actually try to build a different kind of business itself. Now, if you want to leave them faster, experiment a little bit. So don't be completely turned off to any other ideas, any other possibilities, and therefore get really siloed and never learn anything else about the world either. It's good to try out other stuff, and it's good to discover what you like most. And just have a more well-rounded view of the world of business, because this leads to you growing your company a lot faster. I'm not sure if I would be running a tech company today if I didn't start building software teams at my agency and trying to just play around with building software for ourselves, building software for other people, and doing some experimentation there. But I made a really big mistake when I was really scaling Flax in 24. Or 2023, 2024, where I experimented too much. So maybe 30% of my time was spent scaling the core thing that was working really well. And then 70% of my time was spent on experimentation. And I definitely grew slower than that. Or so slower than I could have if I had put 70% or 80% of my effort into the main thing and then 20% into experimentation. Slightly different, maybe thought process, but I think it's something that you've done too, and you've done really well.
Yeah, I think it is definitely good to experiment with other niches and not confine yourself to just one vertical. But at the same time, being said, the most important thing of any of this is that most everything actually works. It just, if you hop from niche to niche to niche, you never actually give it the time that it needs to work. So the biggest thing is giving it the proper time.
It's really like planting something. Like if you plant a tomato bush and you wait a week and you're like, it didn't grow fast enough, and you go and plant an oak tree, and then you wait a few more weeks and then you go, it's not growing, and you just keep planting new stuff forever, and then trampling the shit that you currently have. You shouldn't expect a garden to grow. But if you want to actually grow something, you need to spend time nurturing it, and actually waiting. Like there's an element of patiently doing the right thing every single day and waiting for results to compound. And that's one of the things that builds momentum the fastest, is actually allowing for that to happen. We're on our 27th episode of this podcast. Could we do much better with content? Probably. Almost definitely, yes, we could. But we spend very little time focusing on it, and it compounds. Surprise, surprise, it gets a little bit better. We get a little bit better at doing these podcasts every single week. We get a little bit better, or a little bit more organized with our video ideation and like the topics that we go to talk about, and how we help people in general. And those things do compound, but they are awaiting. There's an element of just letting time catch up.
Well said.
Hell yeah. Cool guys, thanks for watching. Let us know if you have other things you want us to make in the comments. Otherwise, Braden and I sit down and we put our heads together and we figure out good topics for you guys anyway. So
ideas coming, yeah.
Keep them coming. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you don't know what OB is, watch the video on our home channel. We what am I saying? We help people that are trying to grow agency businesses. Right? Braden and I combined do somewhere around a few $100,000 a month in rev, and it's fun. We like this stuff. It's good to share what we learn with the world. So shoot us an application. We accept one person a month, and we're working through the wait list at the moment.
Well said. Take care. Bye. Easy.